people who voted you. You're supposed to listen to us. That's your,
How old are you?
job.
How old
I'm
are you?
16. I
Well,
can't
you didn't vote for me.
Well,
We have to talk about the now late Senator Dianne Feinstein, who passed last week after a tremendous health battle over the past couple of months that has earned national attention. Many people have called what was going on with her elder abuse. She was clearly in no state to continue representing her state in the Senate, and yet she was refusing to step down. She actually had Nancy Pelosi's daughter that stepped in as like power of attorney and was helping her in some of her decisions. It was all very, very corrupt, and I think there's many things that we can and will say about that entire situation. But in the wake of her passing, a video resurfaced last week that I had not formerly seen, and I have to say it is iconic. We have to roll this clip of Dianne Feinstein owning some little kids who showed up to lobby her over the Green New Deal.
We're gonna go in and share this letter, and we're gonna do it all together. Yeah. Share it in front of Feinstein. We're asking her to vote yes on the Green New Deal.
We are trying to ask you to vote yes on the Green New Deal.
Please.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We have our own Green New Deal.
Some scientists have said that we have 12 years to turn this around.
Well, it's not going to get turned around in 10 years. What we can do,
Senator, if
is
this
put
doesn't get turned
ourselves-
around in 10 years, you're looking at the faces of the people who are going to be living with these
Guess what?
consequences.
The government is supposed to be for the people and by the people and all
you know
for the
what's
people.
interesting about this group is I've been doing this for 30 years. I know what I'm doing. You come in here and you say it has to be my way or the highway. I don't respond to that. I've gotten elected. I just ran. I was elected by almost 1 million vote plurality. And I know what I'm doing. So, you know, maybe people should listen a little bit.
I hear what you're saying, but we're the people who voted you. You're supposed to listen to us. That's your,
How old are
your
you?
job.
How old
I'm
are you?
16. I
Well,
can't
you didn't vote for me.
Well,
I'm 24.
voted.
It doesn't matter. We're the ones who's going to be
Words mean
impacted.
something.
It doesn't matter. We're going to be the ones who are impacted.
I understand that. I have 7 grandchildren. I understand it very well.
Senator, the cost of
And-
not taking this action is far higher than the cost of what the Green New Deal will be. And there
Here's
is
what-
enormous popularity for this bill around
Okay.
the whole country.
Here's
And we're
what
asking you to
we
be
are
brave and
proposing.
do this for us and for your grandchildren.
Get enough for everyone. I'm trying to do the best I can, which was to write a responsible resolution.
Any plan that doesn't
has-
take bold, transformative action is not going to be what we need.
We need
Well,
your
you know
leadership.
better than I do.
don't
So
you
I think one day you should run for the Senate.
Great. I
And
will.
then you
Let
do
us
it your
see you.
way.
But
By
We have a
that
letter
time,
for
In the
you.
meantime,
by that time, there's
I
going to be a
just,
big problem.
I
We
just
have a
won a
letter
big
for you.
election.
So I remember seeing that video at the time, actually, and it is iconic. It's from February 2019, so this is back when Senator Feinstein was totally with it. You mentioned her health issues. She has been not with it for some time. And before her passing, rest in peace, best wishes to her family. You know, she lived a long and very impressive life, whether you agree with her politics or not. I believe she was a trailblazer in terms of women in politics. But I disagreed with her on most things. She was, while not like a far leftist, she was solidly progressive on a lot of issues. This was still the most iconic moment. Like, she is pro-climate change agenda, pro-green energy, pro all this stuff, but she wasn't on board with the full Green New Deal. And these kids were brought in by the Sunrise Movement, which is this leftist, alarmist climate group that's really just like Marxist, hardcore Marxist. And they tried to use little kids, to emotionally guilt trip her. And they give them all these little talking points that have no basis in reality. Say this, say that we only have 10 years or my generation will be doomed. Say that we voted you. And she just calls them out. She's like, I kind of know what I'm doing, Miss Susan, Miss 12-year-old, Miss 11-year-old. And you didn't actually vote for me because you're 16, unless you're confessing to a crime here. I just thought it was iconic. She put them in their place. And she really showed. I hate the whole exploiting kids to get your message across in politics. But normally politicians bow to it, and then just when they're gone, just go back to what they were doing. She had none of it, and it was an iconic moment. And I think if that's what we can remember her for, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I have no love lost for Dianne Feinstein. I think she was a warmongering, pro-drug war, nasty politician. I think she represents everything wrong with the two-party system, total shill for the party. Just the fact that she chose to continue to stay in office long past when she was actually capable of doing so, I think is so self-serving and grotesque. I think she is yet another example of why we desperately need age limits in politics. But take all that to the side for a minute, because her dunking on these kids gave me life. It was amazing. They say it's easy to stand up to your enemies. It's much harder to stand up to your friends. I absolutely believe that to be true. Brad and I walk that walk every day. It is not easy or comfortable or fun. It doesn't earn you a lot of praise. So to see her stand up against a group that, you know, like you said, she probably was pretty ideologically aligned with, against something that was such a bad idea like the Green New Deal. I mean, it was really one of the most laughable, worst proposals I've ever seen come across the congressional legislation. And so I admire that in her, I guess, the fact that she would stand up and even stand up to kids, because that is such a manipulative tactic. And man, do they love to do this on the left. They are always trotting kids out for gun control and for climate change and for these really, you know, aggressive, emotional based issues that they want to use them to manipulate people over. I think it's awful. I think anybody who's propping up kids to get their politics done is actually just a loser. I can't stand that side of
Right wingers do it too, and I'm always grossed out by it.
But not as much. I do see it more on the left, and especially the state capitals. It's much more a leftist thing that they do than a right wing thing. So I like to see her stand up. She was right in her points. I love that she called that girl out for not actually voting for her. I like that she told the woman who was there she should just run for Senate then. She was having none of it. She did not care, and it was just vastly funny to me. I really appreciated this moment.